Jam Industry HBO Season 2 chat. Mm-mm-mm. Tweet it out. Let's get it. Whew. What a season. I can't believe it's already over. Honestly, there's a lot going on. And I'm going to need some help today. Your girl is doing a lot, loving every moment. But I'm thinking I'm going to let y'all do y'all's thing on Wax today. I need all of the speakers, your favorite film and TV girl. My voice is a little bit kind of, my throat's bothering me a little bit. I rebuke COVID. I think it's just a little stress. I think I'm like 30% stressed compared to all the industry HBO characters.
I thought you were going to say 36, and I was going to be like, you are 36,
girl,
correct.
you the 38-year-old. Absolutely not. But I do need some help today, so please don't be shy. Come on up. I want y'all to shine. Get your bars off. Come on up and speak. Everyone gets to get their bars off today. Let's be a community. I need co-hosts. I need speakers. I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing on Wax. Renee, I know Renee is ready to go. Renee probably got her notes. I need y'all to help me out today. Don't be shy. Welcome. Hi, I'm Erin and Trill Kitchen. Come on up if you've seen the show. All opinions are welcome. So, I read an article from the creators, Conrad K and Mickey Down, and I don't know, it made me like even more infuriated in the best way about how good this show is and how they ended things. So, Renee, I'm just going to read you one thing and you tell me what you think about this comment. This was in regards to Kenny's, we called it, right? We were like, look, Kenny's like the best person right now. And he was, fucking with the worst of the worst last season. And, the interviewer goes, I was also taken with Yasmin's arc with her abusive boss, Kenny Kilbane, played by Connor McNeil, now sober and working the program after his season 1 shenanigans. And Mickey Down said, sobriety has its own creed, in a way, an evangelism that can become fucking annoying. And, see, there goes my voice, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Renee, don't you love that? I feel like we talked about that. How journeys can just be fucking annoying. And when Yasmin had to speak back to him, like in the episode before this, like, I know you not talking to me about how to respond to sexual harassment and or abuse of power. Well, that's exactly what you did to me. But go ahead, Renee. What do you think about that statement of his?
Okay, let me tell my truth because I was reading an AV Club article. I'm so sorry. You're going to have to say that quote again.
Sobriety has its own creed, in a way, an evangelism that can become fucking annoying.
Sobriety has its own creed in a way that evangelism, first, actually, that resonates with me in the sense that I know people because I be the sober friend.
Right.
And I kind of preach about it. But it's interesting because I was like rewatching Industry where like the last episode where outside of like Robert, right? We have Harper and Yasmin who get called poison or the problems by like the men in their lives. And when I think about like poison and sort of like alcohol, right? it's almost like these people, like these like men in their lives, they feel like they've cleansed themselves. So now they can evangelize being a better person because they've like cleansed themselves from quote unquote their sins, and the sins are like the women.
Right.
Like I rewatched the scene with Rishi, and when he was like, "Oh, I just have to get rid of myself of the poison, right? Like, okay, I just have to get sober. I just have to do this, then I'm sober and ready to get married." But it's like, no, you're foul as fuck. You're literally fucking somebody you called your worst enemy. You talked shit about to your fucking future wife. You were so nasty to her. You literally fucked her raw. I'm sorry, Kraft mac and cheese is ruined for me. Mickey down these.
Renee, I really asked you to say that in my space.
Just we need to, these sex scenes got a little too realistic. I did not appreciate that. And so now what? They feel like they're getting a new start because they've combined all the evil together. Like the CPS and like FX are merging, so they've combined their evil.
Right.
So now they're sober and now they're better and improved. It it
Right. At
it,
the
it
expense of people around them.
yeah, it's they just did like a org restructure to try and pretend like they're not pieces of shit, but they kept the pieces of shit around.
Right. Let's talk about this Rishi and Harper sex scene. And I was telling you this earlier. I don't know if. Here's the thing. Here's what's true. I am very upset that that man that was about to walk out of that door and get married to his wife and hated Harper for this last 2 seasons. They hated each other, couldn't stand each other. Fucks her raw for 2.5 seconds. Okay. She talks to Eric, looks at her longer than Rishi took to, fuck her raw and at his own wedding. And I don't know. And I started to like process my infuriation. And I was like, Monique, you would have been even more upset if it was any longer. Like, let's say it was a reasonable 2 to 3 minutes, like for TV, but like whatever, right? Like, let's say they showed us through like a montage or whatever that it was like a reasonable amount of time and not 0.25 seconds. I think I would have been just as infuriated. There was nothing, no sexual interaction between Rishi and Harper that I would be okay with. And I was like, well, 2 seconds, 30 minutes, either way, this is some bullshit. And I know Harper felt that. She was like, maybe I am poison. But here's the thing, she's not poison in relation to Rishi because Rishi got his own bullshit going on for you. And, Harper got to talk to the wife, because everyone was talking shit about the wife. And Harper was like, well, she seems fine. Like, I guess she's kind of annoying, but like, she seems fine. Remember, like, season or episode 2. And it just gave me so much of Succession where like Shiv tried to tell Tom that they wanted a fucking she wanted a fucking open relationship the night that she married her husband. It gave so much of the chaotic wedding. Like TV loves to make weddings chaotic. I don't know why we can't just have a normal wedding on television on HBO. I don't understand it. They hate weddings. And so Rishi getting his little poison out is interesting because now Harper is like questioning if she's poisoned, which she is, but on a different level. So I don't know. Y'all, again, I told y'all I need help today. I need co hosts, I need speakers. I know I'm your favorite film TV girl, but my voice is like betraying me. I'll sound beautiful at one point and like a frog in the next. Y'all come up here and help Renee. Renee is my lovely co host. Y'all come up here and talk to us, okay? Y'all at work? Come up here and talk to us. But okay, so we got our feelings out about Rishi and Harper. Anyone else got any feelings about.
No, I have to say I'm actually sick of them doing drive by dick. That honestly was triggering. It reminded me of Insecure when Lawrence did that drive by dick on Issa and then ran away. I honestly was I said we prison abolitionists, we need to lock y'all up because we need to lock people who do drive by dick up. That is a crime.
Here's the thing. They got 40 minutes on television to give us a strong finale. Again, I don't know how many minutes I wanted. I wanted none. I wanted 0.
I wanted 0, but like Elliot and Euphoria saying longer than Rishi
Exactly.
gave
Eric,
Harper dick.
Eric Eric barely looked at Harper when he knew he was about to sacrifice her on some bullshit to protect her. And Rishi did 3 humps and half a huff and puff and was done. And I was just like, oh my God, did he nut? I said, no, this is not okay. I said, this is not okay. But you know what? That's why he said he had to get the poison out. Lizzie, welcome to the stage. Thank you. Go ahead and talk about this Rishi and Harper thing because I'm stressed. I'm sweating. I need some water. I can't do this.
Thank you for the space. Nothing about Rishi and Harper. Like I hated that scene. It was so, I was disgusted. I was like, what the heck? Nothing about their interaction has ever been sexual. It felt like, nah, I didn't like it at all. I screamed when I saw it. I was like,
Bro,
get this shit off my screen.
the way that Renee was like, I'm really glad we get to talk about our feelings and about this. And I was like, I'm going to talk about how much I screamed. I'm just going to talk about how much
Or
I screamed this entire finale. Screaming.
Yes. Yeah, that I nothing prepared me to see that. I was like, what? This is crazy.
Rishi and Harper, they tried to get. Did you see how they tried to give us a little bit too? Like they tried to build the sexual tension in those little 3.5 minutes. Did you see that?
Like, no, it did not
no,
for
it
me.
was no, it was like a horror movie, and like I was horrified, truly.
Exactly.
I said, not her giving this. Not her. And here's the thing, but here's where the writing checks out. Because Harper do be on that type of shit. And quite frankly, I mean, writing straight men is like, it's like, of course, right? I mean, duh, he's cheating on his wife. But like with Harper, it's like Harper has actually fucked most of the people that she's worked with except for Eric. Like,
You
she
know,
fucked.
her face at the end of it reminded me of Yasmin's face, right when she was done like getting
Fucking.
ate out by Celeste. She looked like, whoa.
Mm. See, they don't. So here's the thing. Ooh, Lizzie, you just made me realize they use people for sex, but when they get used for sex, it's like, oh, hold on, this don't feel good. This don't feel good. Yeah, Yasmin, it don't feel good, do it? Yeah, Harper, it doesn't feel good, does it? You're a little shook right now. You feel a little bad. And I love the way that this show kind of sits with the guilt of a lot of these characters, you know? I feel like that's been like prevalent in season 2. We got more into the complexities of everyone, like my family issues and my career issues and like my biggest insecurity. And who cares if I have Jesse Bloom? Where the fuck is my brother? And why is my dad a fucking pedophile? And why is like my dad that I didn't even care about causing me so much grief? Speaking of Rob, like, and Kenny, and his like personal journey with like this evangelistic approach to sobriety and stuff that can be fucking annoying. To Mickey Down's point, I think we got really deep into that, and we sat with a lot of characters' guilt this season. Like this season showed you like how guilt can make you fucking act. I mean, look what guilt for Eric made him do. Look what the guilt make a bitch do. Like the money and the guilt will make you do some crazy shit. But go ahead, Renee.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm still on the fence about why Eric did what he did to Harper because I do feel like part of it was to protect her. Because I do think he saw that I do think he believed Harper when she did not realize that Jesse Bloom was like using her. I do believe Harper like in that. With that being said,
Yeah, that's
I
like the
think
only thing I've ever believed that Harper said.
yeah, no, Harper's been like really honest like the
Yeah,
last 2 episodes. And
just the last
like
two. Mm-hmm.
that's how you know she's down bad when she's telling the truth. She's like, I got no more fucking tricks to play. I gotta tell you how the truth. Help me. I can't help myself.
She she was quickly reminded how much of a third year she was. Okay, she
Oh
said,
my.
"Hold on, I did not know he would do that." Eric was like, "What?"
Well, he said to her, "You're playing a young person's game."
He said, "You're gonna give a young person's response to this." I said, "Yeah." Now he putting, now he reminded her where she came from and where she going. Mm-mm.
So, I mean, I think I still like I'm on the fence of that. And then like the thing is, I mean, to be fair, I am biased towards Harper because, I root for Black women and I think Mahala's face is so pleasant. So I'm like, damn, she terrorizing these men? Oh, well. So
I
maybe
know
they
the
need to be terrorized.
director
Maybe.
did this. The casting director did that on purpose. It's hard to pick Mahala's cute little face.
It
Come on,
really is.
it's so
But
hard.
the thing
Bitch.
does she do poisonous things? Yeah, but I don't think she's any more poisonous than, like, let's say, Eric. Like, that is like the OG sort of poison, right? Or DVD, he's like benevolent misogyny, right? Because like he wants to be like thought of as a good guy, but then he's gonna like chop it up with like open misogynist like Rishi, who's like a douchebag who parks his car like a douche.
Right, that's how I ain't forget. I ain't forget. Go
And
ahead.
also, DVD brings up like the sexual assault in front of Harper, who he knows was assaulted by Nicole. I thought that was like wild.
Wait, when was that?
He
What?
brings up the HR crisis to Eric in front
Oh,
of Harper.
yes. Knowing that.
I was like, that's so insensitive. What the hell?
And remember, he also said he was like, I just want to get rid of this. I just don't want to deal with X, Y, and Z. So it wasn't like he was like, oh my God, this is so fucked up. How could humans do this? Blah blah blah. He was more like, oh, how do I deal with this? How do I manage this? Eric, tell me. It's like, okay, you not really trying to do the right thing with sexual assault if you're asking Eric for advice on how to manage sexual assault.
Exactly. And I'd like to call someone out right now, someone on the stage right now. I'd like to call them out. Lizzie, I believe you said something about DVD to me, and I want to ask you how you feel about that statement now.
Hang on. I gotta find the message.
Oh, no, I got it right here, sweetie. No. So, Lizzie's going to read her message out. What we watch, we're comfortable, we admit when we're wrong, and we celebrate when we're right and vindicated, or we just kind of explain our thought process because that's what beautiful shows do. You think you on somebody's side, you think they're doing well, and then especially in industry HBO, like you can't fuck with nobody. I think we talked about this before. I would definitely never be Harper's friend, so it's hard for me to be like quote unquote rooting for her. But she's not any worse than anybody else. So if I can't be her friend, then I don't think I can be anybody. I think I could maybe be Venetia's friend. Like that's the only person I could semi fuck with on this show. And I love me some Eric. Now I love me some Eric Tao. Now Eric Tao can't do no wrong. I know this black woman up here is supporting Eric Tao's ass, but I love me some Eric Tao. Now he be barring motherfuckers up, and I like a motherfucker with some good bars. Go ahead, Lizzie. Let's address this DVD thing. I'll call you and Renee out. Go ahead.
I thought I don't know. I think even Eric was like, "Whoa, why bring DVD just to throw him under the bus?" Like it didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I thought like he was trying to explain who Harper is by the sexual assault thing, which is pretty true. Like he was trying to like analyze her and try to figure her out, but he got it wrong. Like Harper's not the way she is because of the sexual assault. Like it's deeper than that.
Yeah, no, DVD's not a good person. Let's just call it what it is. He's not a good person. He's a terrible person. He just, kind of cute. And that's pretty privileged. Speaking in the show, got y'all girls talking about DVD a good person. No, he not. No, he not. He just kind of cute. But I honestly think, and we talked about this in the last episode, or the last space that's tagged under this space, that he kind of had like one of the most embarrassing downfalls, like he went out kind of sad. But it was like, Yasmin, did we rank the going out sads yet? Because I think we should rank the going out sads. I think it's definitely DVD, Yasmin, Harper, top 3, right?
I mean, DVD, like, I didn't get to tell you the story, but no, I got like my first job, I got played like that, like DVD in like high school. It was really traumatic. I worked
I felt for because they literally turned off his key card.
no, like, that's so traumatic. Like, yo, I worked at Panera Bread. I'll boycott Panera Bread, first of all.
Period.
And I had to like take like a few days off like work because I was doing shit like taking my ACTs and my SATs and like whatever other scores because I was like trying to get to an Ivy League school. And I remember I rolled up to Panera Bread in the morning, not to work or anything, but you could get like free food and you just get or 50% off and you give your employee ID. So I'm like walking in and I give my employee ID and the girl's like, it's not working. I don't know why. Let's grab the manager. And then the manager comes. He was like, "Oh, they said you're not working here anymore." They didn't even tell me I got fired. I said, the girl felt so bad for me. She just gave it to me for free.
You know
So
what? This is the only parallel between industry HBO and Panera Bread. That's what I needed right there. Turn off your key card. Turn off your badge. Your badge is done. Yeah, that DVD went out SAG. That's kind of embarrassing. Speaking of DVD, season 2 introduced a lot of new characters to us guys, and not like fully new. Like Rishi wasn't new, but he was definitely somebody that was like they went into a lot deeper and they created. You see what it created? Him fucking Harper for 2.5 seconds. Could have done without that, but I get it. I know that y'all be doing fucked up shit when you're horny. I get it. But who are some of your like new characters of this season that you actually enjoyed and why? And Sam, I'm gonna call you because you there. Okay, I like that hand raise, Renee. Go ahead. But Sam, go ahead. What
No,
are some?
I'll let Renee go first because I was more so the other question. But yeah.
Okay, okay. So you the last question. Go ahead, Renee.
So I like Venetia because Venetia had enough good sense and self-worth to leave. She wasn't a slave to the money or the power or the fame or the notoriety because she told Yasmin like, yeah, I don't think I want to do this anymore. This merger, like, yeah, the money's good, but she was like, I feel myself corroding in real time, which that was what was happening actually. So I liked Venetia a lot as a new character. I liked DVD, yes, because he's attractive. Also because I liked like the initial dialogue and flirtation between
Mm-hmm.
Harper and DVD. It was fun. She was lighthearted. You
Right.
know, I was really into the sex scenes. It was fun.
Sam, what about you?
All right. So I
Answer the
really
last question and then this one too. Go ahead.
so I'll do this one first. So I think as far as my favorite, I really liked Indy or the new, I guess the new Yasmin on the FX side, but I just appreciated, kind of like seeing. I don't know. She kind of represented to me like Gen Z or like the generation of people that kind of aren't with the shits with, like as far as like corporate structure and all that crap, and
Mm-hmm.
like
Shout out
just seeing her
to
like,
shout out to us.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like just break the status quo type of thing. But I don't know, as far as like who had the worst or the biggest struggle at the end, for me it's top two is definitely DVD and Yasmin. But for Yasmin, like kind of similar to DVD, like it sucks kind of finding out that you got fired by your key card not working. But Yasmin, like the first time she tried to open the door, like, it didn't work. So it's like, oh, like, my key doesn't work. But then to like feel that hurt twice, like, I don't know, that was like probably the most painful thing for me is like, damn, you're not like, you're completely like homeless. And then you're going to like your, not even your ex, but just some dude that you use. Like, that's, I don't know.
Did I not tell y'all it could never be me? Didn't I tell y'all that?
It, that's probably the worst way to go out. But
Could
yeah.
never be me. I'm going back to the dude that I was like on the same level with, that ain't gonna ever have that over me. I need to. If you gonna have the power and be a bitch, you need to be steady in that. That's why Yasmin weak. Yasmin flimsy. I can't respect it. You can't go back to the man that you was just trying to flex on. You look raggedy. You look dusty. They did that on purpose. Lizzie, what about you?
Yeah, the top for me is probably Yasmin. Yep, she ended up homeless, and then yeah, DVD. DVD was sad. Just because he could have kept his job, if he hadn't, followed Harper in that meeting. So yeah, that's what he gets for like, being pussy whipped.
That's what he gets for with people in the workplace. I feel like a lot of times we center those conversations around women not supposed to do it, which, it's always more risky for women. But I'm glad DVD got his fucking comeuppance, okay? DVD, that's what you get for fucking in the workplace, okay?
Yeah.
For using your power, because isn't he above Harper? That's what you get. Mm-hmm. Lizzie, though, the second question, though, was who was your, a new character that you enjoy? And you and Renee don't want to admit it. Y'all like y'all some DVD now. Y'all like y'all some DVD. And that shit changed. I want to know when that changed. Was it the last episode? I want to know when it changed. I'm calling them out. Y'all listeners, I'm calling everybody out. Come on up here. Y'all can call me out too if I said some bullshit. Mm-mm.
I like he brought like a different vibe. Like he was.
What was the different vibe?
You remember that the moment where he basically kicks Harper off the floor? I think that was my favorite scene because you could tell like he started to cuss, but then he held back. Like you can tell that he's not he has a struggle with negativity in general. Like anybody else on that floor would have cussed the shit out of her, but he was like he kind of pulled back when he did that. So
I love the way you said that. I love the way you said that. I like that. You know what it is? DVD is actually like not a confrontational person. He struggles with conflict. And I think that's what correct me if I'm wrong, but like he kind of tries to stay neutral in the face of conflict while everybody else is like, I'm into the conflict. This kind of environment, this work environment almost makes you have to deal with the conflict, right? Like, no, we're going to pivot towards the conflict. Let's find out what's going on here. I want answers. I'm going to escalate. That's why I love this show. I'm going to be honest. Everybody escalates everything. They love to escalate this. I'm an escalator myself. Jasmine in the audience, Jasmine knows. I'm going to escalate it. Don't start nothing with me because I will escalate it. I'm an escalator. Okay? I sure will. And I think when I just watch like Harper say some bullshit to Rishi, and then Rishi escalates, and then Harper escalates, and then Eric come in and escalate even more. And I'm like, damn, we're going up. We could have just stayed chill. We could have just made this trade. We could have just hung up the phone with Jesse Bloom. But we're escalating. Hamas. Is it Hamas? I'm ESL, y'all.
I think it's Jameis.
Jameis?
It's Jameis. It's all good.
Jameis?
It's some sports bullshit. It's all good.
Oh, yes. I remember that guy.
Yeah, I hate his
welcome to what we watch. So we got two questions, combination thereof, because a lot of the conflict came from the newbies. They put a lot of new people on the floor, and they caused a lot of fucking issues this season, okay? And they came in fucking a bunch of people, putting their dicks everywhere. I didn't appreciate it.
Hella HR violations.
Industry is just HR violation. HR violation.
For sure.
But does HR really exist in the financial industry?
It can't. It can't, for sure. Definitely based on the show, that shit does not exist.
Good call, because you know how they have always referenced it, and not once have we actually seen anyone do it.
Yeah, they referenced it
in the first season. The only person we saw actually kind of participate is Kenny, who was the worst the last season. I mean, they were taking us on a roller coaster with these characters. But go ahead. Talk to me about your favorite newly introduced character this season, or newly complex character with a bit more of a character arc. And then tell me who went out the saddest.
Yeah, definitely. One of my favorites, I can't lie. I know he's a terrible person. Terrible person. It has to be Jesse. Jesse is like the most interesting.
Yes.
You never know what he's going to do next. You don't really know his motivations or his incentives because he's already like he's a billionaire when you meet him. So he's really just walking around shitting on people, whoever he thinks is like smartest. He plays Harper the whole fucking season. I don't know how she didn't see it. She was just so thirsty to be like important. She's like, ooh, I have this billionaire's ear. But really, he's just getting information from you, my nigga. Like, that's all it is.
Drag her.
She was cooked. She was cooked since damn near the first time they met. Because he could see how, like, intuitive she was and she knew what she was talking about. But he also saw, I think, in my opinion, he saw how hungry she was to be prominent, more so than, like, being secure in her own position. She's very aspirational, but I think she kind of flew a little bit too close to the sun. But yeah, Jesse was definitely my favorite as far as like new characters. as far as who went out the saddest, it gotta be DVD. Um, and as you know what I'm saying, as somebody who watched the whole season, I don't really know where the spice came in. Like it seemed like when I come to these spaces, it seemed like he's not like niggas ain't fucking with DVD. I don't really know why. I know he's a company man. He's kind of corny. The whole shit with Harper was
Oh, you could
in
take
the
off.
middle was it was like annoying because he kept being all like touchy feely with her, and it's like, bro, you know that's not what type of time she on. So yeah, DVD went outside. Yasmin is the absolute worst. I hate her. I can't stand watching her on my screen. So yeah, she did. She went out terribly, and it was even hilarious to see. She just goes up on her dad at the bar, telling he's a terrible person. You're the worst person ever. Never want nothing to do with you. Then she has to know that all her shit is intertwined with his,
No,
and
she
then she goes to the apart. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to cut you
no,
off.
she's stupid as hell. No, she didn't. But go ahead.
Yeah.
You right now. Go ahead.
So she knows all her shit is intertwined with her dad. She leaves the bar and then goes to the shit, goes to goes to the basement of the $1 million loft he pays for, clearly, and can't get in. And her first thought is like, oh, something must be wrong. Nigga, you just called him a pedophile. Yeah, he's definitely gonna fucking change the locks. Like, so yeah, I loved every second of her getting cooked. They both went out the saddest for sure, though. For sure.
Mm. I wanted to, so we're 31 minutes in is when you brought up the Icarus reference. And I don't know if those of you in the space, including our speakers here, please listen to our first feelings. We were going in on our first immediate feelings after the finale aired on Monday. Please go ahead and listen to that space. We talked a little bit about flying too close to the sun there.
Mhm.
And, you know, here's the thing. Harper, they were all a little too close to the sun. Like all of them were.
Definitely,
It was
definitely, especially Rob. Definitely Rob.
yeah. But yeah, I appreciate that because I think, and someone tweeted me today based on the comments that I said in the space last, if y'all have some time to listen. And with Yasmin, they showed Yasmin physically, like, you know how I am, guys. I have to shout out like the cinematography, the hair and makeup on the team. All right. It takes a large, collaborative, wonderful, dedicated team to create TV shows. I just had to shout them out because the way that she went from wealthy, generational wealth to her keys not working at the house. She ain't got nowhere to be. She ain't got no clothes. Her cards are turned off. She can't afford taxi fare. She can't afford a little $200 bill. Um, and she in the face of the man she flexed on for the last 2 seasons, begging,
Asking this nigga for coke. Like,
begging.
nigga, get the fuck out of
Uh,
my face.
that's pretty damn sad. And it's okay. We can call she's stupid. She's stupid as hell. She was stupid as hell. And that's what happens when you grow up with a bunch of money and a bunch of a lack of self-awareness. And that's why her bitch ass pedophile dad was like, actually, what the fuck do you think this is? And I just love that industry forces like awful people to like face each other and have conversations because it's just this like ping pong of like who is the worst. And we're sitting there as the audience, like, all right, I'm not on either side, but like low key Harper's spin, but dad spin. And I'm just like, damn, they're making me. It's like that meme where it's like the worst person you know made a good point. And I'm like, damn, like industry is just scene after scene with like the worst person you know just made a good point. Like, and I think Celeste kind of wrapped that whole theme up completely when she was like, Yasmin, sweetie, I don't have time for crusaders. Okay. When Eric, I mean, that was a parallel to when Eric said, you're playing a young person's game. Like there were so many references to where like the people with seniority in the industry were like, sweetie, good luck
Yeah, this
trying to
ain't that.
change this. Good luck trying to be
Mm-hmm.
good, you know? Go ahead, Sierra, and then Renee. Welcome, Sierra.
Hey, wait, I think Renee had her hand up first.
Okay, go ahead, Renee.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, I do feel like DVD is passive aggressive and isn't good with conflict. However, I do feel like he did represent like not wanting to talk to people crazy because like truthfully, people should not be telling me shut the fuck up at work. They should not be telling me shut the fuck up, period.
Period.
So, shout out to DVD for like at least not trying to talk to people spicy. He at least tries to talk to people nice.
Yeah.
Even if he don't do nice shit, even though he do like to be on a three-way phone call like Regina George. Now maybe if DVD was less corny and didn't go to Wharton, or maybe he had some like black friends at Wharton.
Right. If
Maybe
he had
he
any
could
friends at all.
right. No, he had friends. Well, you're right. No, they weren't because they fucked his fiance.
Exactly.
But if he would have, maybe he would have listened to Future Hendrix when he said, "Chase a check, never chase a bitch." And
Because it's an evil world we live in.
it's an evil world we live in. He was over here chasing Harper. He lost his check, and he never had the bitch. Because remember when he said to him, "What if I did fuck somebody else?" Somebody talked to me that way, and then they call me. Then somebody says, "What if I did fuck somebody else?" And they call me, "Come leave your cushiony job to come work with me." No.
No.
So
Absolutely.
he needs to listen to more Future. DS2 maybe will save a life. The Bible. Shout out to Future Hendrix.
Amen. This is
The writers alluded to this. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but the writers alluded that Jesse may have done insider trading before with COVID, because when he was on the interview, they were like, "Oh, Mr. COVID, you're accurate, scare like it wasn't like scarily accurate or like scarily ahead."
Right. Yep.
Just like what he was doing with fucking Riken and Fast Aid. So I'm like, holy shit. This is what this manipulative motherfucker does.
This is what a lot of these motherfuckers do, right? Because like Nicole has been doing what she's doing for a long fucking time too. Like these big dollar billion, I mean, there's a lot being said in this show about wealthy people, and it's like when you're introduced to something that they do, it's your introduction to it, but this is a pattern for them, honey.
Yes. And I don't know if you guys noticed this when Yasmin was just real down bad trying to flirt with Rob. Remember when she was like, "Oh, you're gonna get me my Coke?" And then she was like, "I'll wait for you in your room." I said, not her trying to fuck Rob now and give him pussy. Because she did. She's not even attracted to Rob. She just was like, "Oh, he wanted me, maybe he'll still want me." And like there's just like something particularly nasty when you're the sort of person who decide to like, "Oh, okay, I'm in a low place, so now I can quote unquote slum it up with somebody who I feel like is beneath me, because when I'm at a high place, I don't think any like when I'm at a high place, I feel like I'm better than them, but now I feel like I'm now on their level." So I guess like, nah, that was nasty. That was very nasty.
A bitch. She said, and I have to say to Yasmin, look at what the lack of money make a bitch do. Look at what the lack of money make a bitch do.
She really moving like a broke bitch, like spiritually, emotionally, financially. Just get to check. I said,
And let me just extend further upon Yasmin. I mean, this can be Yasmin's down bad hour. We could just all call it out. There's like at least 30 things we could call out for this season. I just want to additionally kind of extend your comment to her treating Harper the exact same way. Obviously, there's no sexual. Actually, I can't even say that. Who knows? You know what? These writers gonna put some sexual tension tension wherever they feel like it. But like, hopefully, ain't no sexual tension between Yasmin and Harper. But y'all remember in the last space, I was telling y'all how mad I was that I've never seen Yasmin smile bigger than when her broke ass got to rub shoulders with Harper. I couldn't believe it. I said, Yasmin, not you being happy without money, not miss money that can't buy happiness. Wipe that smile off your face. She thought she was leveling with Harper. Like, oh, look at me. I'm broke too, girl. Let's chat. Girl, get out of my face.
Yo, it was dirty. Also, the music selection. Did you guys notice when Celeste was cutting down Yasmin? It was like I was like watching the captions, and like the music song was like, "Oh, the money's gone and love can't help me get money back," or something. It was some song. And that was exactly what the fuck was happening to Yasmin.
Yep. Can we talk about the music cues? I want you to go back and watch episode 6, episode 2, and then like the finale. The music cues in this fucking show are so damn good. Y'all know the full whole like electro techno situation when Harper about to do some bullshit. That is like on time every time. It's like a thing that I know. My brain recognizes it immediately. Like, oh shit, here she go. She finna take us up this damn roller coaster.
But you know what? Also, too, like about Harper And also when it comes to Yasmin, you know, it just always remind me of like that meme, like with that dog in the rib cage, like that dog in him. Because like just because women like you got no money and I don't got no money, don't mean you got that dog in you to do what I do.
Come on,
And it's like you not me, you know. And I think that's basically like to where even with Harper, like she definitely tries to dismiss Yasmin. Like when Harper was like going through it, and that's when and that was Yasmin's last day on the desk, and Yasmin was talking to her. In that one, I think it was the second to last episode before she got kicked off the desk, and Yasmin was asking her these questions. Like she was like trying her best not to like this not to spaz on Yasmin, but ambition cannot be taught. To me, I feel like that's the same thing of like nature versus nurture. It's in you, and that's something to where like we see it, and then, like when you talk about Icarus and flying too close to the sun, I feel like a lot of persons were chasing and trying to be ambitious. But if you're not like that person, if you're not that dog, you're not gonna get it done. If you gotta have to make conscious decisions or constantly strategizing, that's exhausting. And what I really thought about, and also hearing your conversation like from Monday night and also tonight, it made me think about the very first couple episodes of Harper in that hotel, and it made me think of how she was exhausted, and especially with COVID, because you know they basically just fast forward because they talked about COVID briefly. About COVID, she's stuck in a hotel room and her not being in the office, and she felt safe. She always had to pretend or play dog, and I just feel like that just shows you just how not even just rigorous, but how draining of playing a face or being tough it is. And she has still like even with her brother, she wasn't even able to let her guard down with her brother after finally seeing him. And I just can't wait till next season. Please get Harper in a therapy chair so we can see her break down, please.
Eric begged her. Eric begged her to start.
Begged her. But like if we could see that scene of her like really breaking down next season, I feel like that would be just like not only do they deserve all the awards for this season and the writing, but like that will really catapult this show as to something ever. And just like the intersections of Black womanhood in the workplace and also misogyny, like it's just so many different things and so many nuances that I thought about. And I think it was Jameis talked about Jesse Bloom.
Yep.
Jesse Bloom, like he knew, he peeped Harper's card, bro, the first time. And like when I think about it, like he wasn't oblivious. Like you think a billionaire not gonna do their Googles of who's staying in the same hotel as them? Like it's just certain things to where he peeped it. He saw her ambition, and I think that was just such a great take of her. Like he saw her hungriness, and he was able to manipulate that
Yep.
to the core. And I think
A true hedge fund manager.
true hedge fund. And I feel like honestly that just made me think about Gus, and I hope Gus is not manipulated next season either, because now Gus is in his pocket. Really too.
Mark my words. I've said it 3 times. I'm saying a fourth and a fifth. Gus finna be back on his bullshit. Just wait a minute. And his bullshit is like honestly like shiny compared to everybody else's bullshit. But Gus is about to be back on his bullshit. Mark my words. It's recorded.
But what does his bullshit look like? Give me. I can't recall a time where he really was on his bullshit other than that Christmas party.
Hey, y'all forgot Gus has the dog in him. Okay, Gus is hungry for it. But he was just actually the only one that had some semblance of empathy or sympathy for what the fuck this investment bank does to people. But Gus is hungry for it. Don't trip, Gus. You gonna see revisit season 1 Gus, because I feel like season 2 Gus is where we got a whole different Gus. He went through,
but also to him getting duped by that lady, I feel like I was like, come on, Gus, like why would you admit to that? To a certain degree. So that's why I'm like, I don't know.
He about to be back on his, but he foolish because he got gypped twice in 1 episode, okay, and 1.5 episodes. My favorite character was definitely Jameis. I agree. It was definitely Jesse Bloom. I appreciate us because who do we have? We've had a few big clients that show up in industry HBO over the last 2 seasons, and one of them is a fucking predator. Okay. The other ones just be like on the phone mostly. The other ones we may get a dinner scene or 2, right? Where they're drinking, being fucking weird, using jargon that most of us don't use in our daily lives, but they definitely do. Using words that I look up all the time in the dictionary. Shout out to Industry HBO, a learning experience. Love it. But Jesse, we got to see a family member, you know, his son. We got to see him do interviews. We got to really experience a billionaire's life and how they don't give a fuck about anything, nothing. And even in the moments where, you know, he even joked about it when he was doing the fucked up shit to Harper, they even like emphasized how fucking, I guess, sociopathic he can be when he was like, "Oh, I'm talking to my son." Like just leveraging the relationship that he doesn't have with his son to do the bullshit that he did to Harper. Like I really, really, really liked meeting his bitch ass. I really did. I was like, yeah, Jesse, I like this guy. I like this guy. He's a bitch. This is a good character. This is how you keep me invested. Y'all
But
laugh.
also too with Jesse, just to add on, it just showed me also just like the commodification of different like social issues. Like when he found out his son was gay and there was fucking Gus, he was just like, "Oh, I really don't care if you're gay. Well, I can't really make that statement that I'm against it because that's bad for business."
Right.
So I thought that was like he was being real frank, very honest, and I was just like, you know what?
Yeah.
Even though I know the corporate folks don't care, it was just really cool to like see that and like see people like really speak and be frank and honest. But he's like, my son better get into Oxford, like fucking him or not,
I
basically.
had a great time with Jesse. Absolutely. I want to welcome Nightosphere to the stage. Welcome to What We Watch. We're talking about our favorite new characters of the season and why. I'm about to ask for those of you kind of marinating on the next few questions, those of you in the audience that want to come up and chat, please do. This is for us. This is for all of us. I want to talk about a lot of what I do in a lot of these spaces is talk about the title of episodes because as a writer, I know that's very intentional and it's supposed to either kind of, you know, mislead you in a way or very much like give you clues to what's going on. And the title of this finale was Jerusalem. So I want y'all to take a little bit of like what you know about Jerusalem, what you feel when oh, I'm sorry, I got a phone call. What you hear when you what you feel when you hear the word Jerusalem, and what you know about that biblically, right? Because we just can't have that conversation without acknowledging the biblical aspect of this and how that why this episode was called Jerusalem. Because I have my theories. But go ahead, Nightosphere. Welcome.
Yeah, I was gonna say something else, but now that you say Jerusalem, like guys, like Judas, like kind of the betrayal of it all. Like, Eric kind of gave Harper the kiss of death,
Mm-hmm.
like very interesting. But no, what I actually wanted to say was just I think what Sierra was talking about what Gus is. Guys, I feel like this season Gus is just like he is still a shitty person, but like with season 2 you kind of forget what he was doing, how he was in the first season. He was really cocky. Like, remember how he treated Hart?
Exactly. Until
Like,
the shit popped off with poor.
no, like, and then he was like, "Oh, quietly donates like what, like a little $100 or whatever to the GoFundMe," and keeps it moving. Like, there's a reason Gus didn't stay at Pierpoint. He was very
Yep.
shitty, big headed. He tried to go to another bank, and they said, "I'm sorry, you're just not the right fit for
Yep.
us." And he was like, and he still left Pierpoint. God, like this guy had such a big head. He was constantly alienating people, constantly like making fun of other people. Like the guy who was Rob's mentor.
Exactly.
What's his name? That Scottish guy. He always made fun of him.
Exactly. Thank you.
And like not for like everybody at the workplace knew that he was a liar who lies, but you didn't have to be that mean about it. But Gus would not let it go. He was mean to his core.
He's
It wasn't
got the
out of
dog
like
in him. He's hungry. And
no, it wasn't out of to defend himself, because I know like he was like the guy was saying homophobic stuff. He was literally just going into this man for fun because he could. Like, I feel like we're forgetting Gus was a terrible person, and he's
I
gonna go back to his roots. Like,
I ain't forget. I ain't forget. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Gus had a humble season. He just had a little humble season. And whomst among us in this room has not had a humble season? You know what your humble season 2 of Gus was in your life. You know you was a little humble for a season or two. And I've seen it already. Gus is about to be back on his bullshit. And those of you in the space also know when you got back on your bullshit after your humble season. Maybe slightly better, because hopefully we're always progressing. But yes, thank you for reminding, because Gus is about to be back on his BS 100%. 100%. Mark our words. Go ahead, Renee.
Yeah, so I actually think Gus could fuck over Jesse Bloom because Gus is a politician, and that's what we got to learn about Gus. He comes from a politician family. And that's what politicians are very good at doing. And then I was like just trying to look up like my old tweets from industry. And I remember when like Gus was like fucking Jesse Bloom's son, his son was like, I want to feel your heart, all of your black cock inside of me, which I cringed. And Gus like let that happen and like kept on doing it, which means like you're kind of a social climber, bro. Like somebody fetishizing you like that and you're cool with it and he younger than you.
No, he's
Yo,
18. Like,
yeah, so
oh my
that's a
god.
little yeah, that's a little weird. Like Gus was fucking for the money, dog. He said, "All right, well, he can call me. He can refer to my black cock because my black cock finna get this coin." Uh,
I mean,
I-
think about it. Like, we don't even really have to go too far back. Gus is fucking the son that he's tutoring.
oh, somebody said that was the guy before Jesse's son. Okay, thank you. Still, that's
Yes,
got some fucking issues, dog. Somebody
Gus
can't be. I
tons
want
of issues. Even here's the thing. Here's how. There's two ways you know you down bad in industry. If Kenny looks like a better person than you, cough Yasmin. And if Harper has one over on you. If Harper can't rationalize some of the shit that you've done, you're down bad. And she looked at Gus and she was like, can you please remember how you were introduced to this child? Okay, I'm gonna go do my thing. Gus,
okay, being the moral Harper was. That's why I say. That's why I would be okay with Harper being my friend because as Harper as a friend would not let me die. That is the bare minimum, honestly. Like if I was drunk and throwing up, even if Harper want to beat my ass, she gonna be like, "Get this bitch some water and some Advil."
I don't
And
know about that. I feel like the
yeah,
way Harper, I definitely feel like if you too drunk at a bar, she definitely calling Uber by herself.
no,
no,
No.
no, because
yes,
she's
bitch,
like she actually asks people to take care of people,
she does.
right? She does. Harper is good for that. Harper not finna let you
From
die.
Oh
relationship, no,
yeah, at that Christmas party, she told Rob
Rob,
to watch over
Rob.
Greg.
Yep, she's told multiple people to drink
But
water.
no, but for that Christmas party, for that situation, she liked old dude, the author.
yeah,
She
but
liked him.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Harper as a friend, right? If she decides she likes you, not saying she'd be a good friend to tell your secrets to, your hopes and dreams, but if we just use the parameters are, am I in mortal danger? Harper will try to keep you out of mortal danger because there's a lot of people, friends will fucking leave you but say, I love you, girl. We have seen it happen. We have all seen it happen. Harper would not let us die. So like
The bar is in hell, Renee. Absolutely. Keep, keep Harper away from me. I will watch. I'll be at a
But
party.
also too, back to Gus real quick. I feel like maybe it's just, I hope he get a black gay I wish he has another black gay
yes.
person season 3 because I feel like if we get another black gay person to check him because he also has his own fetish
Yeah.
of also
Here's the
white
He
Barry.
sure
Because
do.
also too, remember when he was topping that white married man season
Yes.
1 with the wife
Was
and
he
the friends and
topic?
the kids?
Guys, he wasn't topic because remember that one time when he's like, I want to go to work with your come on me. This man is gross. This man
Gross. He
needs.
gross as hell, bro. That even like even the guy was grossed out by that shit too.
No, literally. But the thing is, like, I can't even, like, I feel like he needs at least, like, a friend, like, and not a love interest, because I feel like
He
Gus
too
wouldn't even
A
freaked out.
entertain that.
mentor.
Not even, like,
he
Somebody.
needs
mentor.
he
I need
needs
somebody,
to
an enemy. I need somebody to meet Gus where he's at, and I need them to both be at each other. I
let me
need that.
just stop everyone right now and let me just say Night what is your name or what do you want me to call you?
Oh,
Nightosphere?
no. My name's
I,
Adele. Sorry.
Adele, I love your energy for Gus. I think this is very important. I wish you were here the last 3 spaces because I'm telling you, I needed you. I love this energy for Gus. I think it's very important. I feel like Gus is the one that's like that guy that's like we're all, oh, he's humble and and he's not that bad and he doesn't talk too much. So like how can we hate someone that like doesn't do too much talking and smiles and is sweet and is gay and it's like no. No. I'm not no, I'm not full Gus. And then even his sister, like he actually comes from, I feel like there's an alignment with his family that like they're all kind of like that. Like I feel like that's a lot of what this season has shown us too with a lot of a lot of the characters is like their family members are also fucked up. Like Yasmin's fucked up because her dad's fucked up. Remember when she had that moment when in the elevator? Full stop. How many elevator scenes do we get in here, guys? We got a lot of elevator scenes this season. And let me tell you, when you are in an elevator in industry HBO, you are about to get some dialogue. You are about to get some expa motherfucking. You are about to get some high fucking tension. Yasmin and her dad, Harper, DVD, and Eric, Harper and DVD. Didn't Harper and DVD fuck in the elevator? Or they were like making out? Ugh,
They were making you know how like in Game of Thrones you don't want to be at a wedding? You
yeah.
don't want to be in an
You don't
elevator in industry.
Yasmin and Celeste had some weird moments. Kenny and Yasmin had some fucking weird moments. That's like anytime I'm like, why are the cameras in the elevator right now? Oh, we finna see some shit. We are about to see some bullshit. I'm telling you. But again, let's go back to the question about Jerusalem. Anyone want to kind of take the lead on that? Anyone kind of have some ideas to spew out? Because again, I do this for a lot of the TV shows. We talked about Succession, Insecure. Insecure is kind of a little bit more playful with their titles, but like Succession and Euphoria and a lot of the HBO dramas, that title when you press play on that HBO Max app, I'm like, Jerusalem, it ain't gonna be no peace, city of peace, holy my ass, that's not gonna be that. It's gonna be some betrayal. What did y'all think about that? How is Jerusalem biblically shown in this episode?
I mean, I forgot who said it, but I like what they said about like I think it was Adele about like the kiss of death that Eric gave Harper, and I think it was just like so sad because when they finally had like the most tender, sincere moment with each other, like Harper was like, "You were right. I was dead, and I was a zombie and dead in that hotel." It's like, "Oh no, baby girl, you dead right now. You should have stayed in that hotel, respectfully." When Harper's like, "I'm alive," and Eric is like, "Ha ha ha, I'm dead." It it there was a lamb brought to slaughter. And Harper is not, Jesus. She's definitely not without sin. That girl was sinning. With that being
Jesus.
said,
Mm-hmm.
where Eric, I do feel like the way that he decided to take responsibility is by Eric realizes that Harper was a child of his, the way that DVD is a child of his. He just happened to have some modicum of affection towards Harper because he saw so much of himself as her. Like DVD, like he was fucking privileged. And I think what industry did a really good job with doing, they did a good job with like having characters find synergy within each other with their classism. Like, Jesse and Gus, like part of the reason why they're able to connect. Gus is rich. I didn't know that. Guess Jesse was like, yeah,
Gus is
remember your
wealthy, sweetie.
wealthy. He was like, remember your degrees. You're used to these rooms anyway. You're used to this. Tell people where you're from.
Mm.
And then, DVD, he's like mad fucking wealthy because like his dad was like a professor. So he's at least like upper middle class, right? But he was able to connect with Harper. Like, and that's why I liked DVD. They low key talked about being black and how they don't feel good enough. They had like a real nigga moment. I was happy that
and then he nutted on her ass. It was great.
he
Yeah.
did. It was great. Yeah. And Harper was like
Mhm.
fucking a black
Yeah.
guy. I loved it. She was fucking those white
Finally.
men with bad teeth. I said, thank
Finally.
God.
Thank
Finally.
Not you giving the DVD. We need to get that credit to Harper.
But the thing is, Eric told Harper the reason why he liked Harper was because he saw himself and the hunger, and he saw himself and the hunger in like how like Harper came from nothing. He was like, yo, you're literally the most unqualified person here. But he knew that she was the hardest worker and the best worker. And that's the narrative that like he had about himself, probably because his racist ass boss who died used to call him a fucking chink. And started married the woman that he was fucking when he was working at Pierpoint when he was younger.
Agreed.
So it sucked because Harper, a character who has been searching for family figuratively and literally, I felt like she finally thought she had like a father figure, familial figure in Eric. And, he sacrificed her the way that God turned his back on Jesus and said, you need to be sacrificed for the sins of everybody else. And that's what sucked. Harper was being sacrificed for the sins of Pierpoint.
It's interesting that I love that. It's interesting because I was saying it in the last space. The moment that Eric did what he did in that elevator, again, watch out for elevators in industry HBO. The moment he was doing that, and it ended up being not about Jesse, which Harper foolishly thought. Eric was like, "Sweetie, I'm not going to make us all go down, sweetie. No, just you. No. I'm not about to talk about Jesse. Shut up. Girl, this is about you and your degree." But I say that to say I immediately was like, oh my gosh, this is the first time that Eric Tao gets to be a father. And whomst among us has not had our dad protect us on some bullshit, take us out of some fun that we were having, just to be like, yeah, you're not supposed to be here. Sorry. No, you're not supposed to be here. And I just was like, that was a fatherly move. That was a, God and Jesus kind of move. Harper, like you said, Renee, Harper's definitely not Jesus. But I couldn't help but realize that, like, oh, for the lack of family support that Eric also has, speaking of parallels between characters, when he was like, girls, are you happy daddy's home? They're like, anyways, we're gonna go to this multi-million-dollar backyard. Bye, Dad, I guess. Whatever. Go back to work. Like, we don't care. He finds the fatherliness in his interactions with Harper. And that's why he likes the last thing he said before he was like, girl, shut up talking about Jesse Bloom and sit down. He said, I'm doing this for you. That's some parental ass shit to say. Doing this for me. I'm finna be pissed off. All right. Congrats on living more life and knowing more, Dad. But like are you doing this for me? It's hard. It's tough. But go ahead, Sam.
Hey, so for your question about Jerusalem, I guess I was kind of thinking about it, and one thing one thing that was kind of sticking out to me is like the betrayal at the end.
Yep.
So whether it's Harper and Eric with him, like, kind of, well, I guess telling her, about her like faking her transcripts, and then Gus kind of revealing too much about, how he may have been tied up in some insider trading and then being let go. I don't know, not to say like any of these characters are like Jesus or anything, definitely not, but just kind of like the whole, like, I guess the idea behind be careful who you trust, or even the most intimate relationships, like sometimes those are definitely the people you actually should be watching out for. And
Yep.
like just how comfortable they were, and like, I mean, like for Harper to kind of reveal about insider trading, like I mean, my mouth dropped because I thought she was gonna get like fired then, but even Gus, like, but yeah, that's just like one thing that kind of stuck out to me, is just like the whole idea of, betrayal, and betrayal by like the probably closest people to you. So
I like that. I think just to, kind of merge and find like the middle ground between what you and Renee are saying is like, for me, I thought about betrayal too, but I thought about conflict and like, how the city of peace, like there was conquering and conflict before there was peace, right? And like I feel like this was the moment where it's like, here's what has to happen. Like here's what people will do to you. They'll sacrifice you, or they'll try to find parallels within you and then still betray you. You'll think they're on your side. I mean, from the last two episodes, they felt almost like a part one and a part two, right? Because the second to last episode started with them going to that other company trying to sell themselves, but it was Harper, Eric. It was Harper, Eric, and I forget who else. Did they get Rishi? Yeah, it was Harper, Eric, and Rishi. And then the next moment for the finale, you get Harper, Eric, Rishi, and then DVD. And the way they just kind of threw that in there, but it was like it made sense. But that there's no way that they're actually going to reach peace without a bunch of bullshit going on. Someone's going to get conquered, someone's going to get betrayed, someone's going to lie, someone's going to find like their fulfillment first, right? I feel like that's like the best way that I can describe Harper, which is why I think sometimes people cling. If you go and like read any tweet about Harper right now, like I can almost get, you can throw a pencil at a tweet, right? Like that whole saying, and like you'll land on one that says like, I want to like Harper. And I think we want to like Harper because she's really just a Black woman that's looking out for herself. Like she's just a Black woman that puts herself first by any means necessary. And I feel like we all like aspire to be like that. but she fucks up so fucking much, you know? And it's like, but then you're like, well, she can fuck up when she makes like all these fucking plays. Like the fucking Eric Tao loves him some, you know, Harper, and as respectful as a way as he can, because he didn't cheat on his wife too. One of my old tweets about Industry was like, Industry is really just about somebody cheating on their wife. Think about how many people have been cheating on their wives in this show. Okay? Eric, Rishi, Celeste, you know, they've brought in a queer lesbian couple and she was still cheating. I was like, oh my gosh. So, anyways, I think that's where I was like, Jerusalem was kind of like a fucking omen to me when I read that title. I was like, oh shit. We finna see the bullshit that is required for people to feel like they can get to like this peaceful place or this like correction or this resolution of conflict. That's what I feel like that was. So, last few questions before we wrap up. I want to talk a little bit about the cinematography and the writing specifically. Which characters for you guys had the most bars? I feel like I remember 1 bar per episode. And I want to know like which characters resonated with you the most with the way that they spoke and delivered their lines or the way that they said stuff. I'm not even going to waste too much time because for me, it's Eric Tao. Y'all know how I am. I'm loyal. I haven't changed. Eric Tao still has the best bars, period. And y'all know I'm a villain apologist, and I don't even think he's a villain. He absolutely is for taking the protagonist down like that. But y'all know I love me some Eric Tao. And every single line that Eric Tao delivered to DVD gave me life. I know I'm supposed to be on that black man's side. I just couldn't. Every time he said, "Why is this guy here? What are you doing? Who are you? Stop talking to me." Like, I live for Eric being who he is. I love it. I love it because here's the thing. Put yourself in Eric's shoes. You're not going to fucking play me. None of you third years, none of you Wharton graduates, okay? None of you little traitors on the floor is about to play me in my 30 years where I could have been promoted 3-4 times over, but I stayed on the floor because of the love of this game, you know? Like, I just fucking love it. None of you are going to talk crazy to me. That's why every time he sat in there with, I forget who the white guy is that's like above Eric, you know, that's why every time in those moments he's like, "You gonna get rid of me?" And he's like, "You've cost the team money. Like everybody else is actually doing good. You've cost us 40 million." He's like, "Damn, but like you gonna get rid of me? Like I can afford to lose the company 40 million. You need me." So, anyways, that's mine. But okay, I see some hands up. William, welcome to the stage. Lizzie, go ahead.
I think the one quote I guess that I liked was from Celeste
Mm-hmm.
When
She be spitting.
Yasmin was trying to be like, oh, trying to. Sorry, but the quote is, "Every dollar, every client you probe deep enough, and an advantage has been taken, an
Yep.
angle has been played." I'm like, okay, like she knows her game. Like she
Exactly.
is not inexperienced. She knows what the fuck is going on, and she's not here. Like she knows what time it is. She knows why she's there. She's there to make money, and that's that.
And I'm sorry, but like my favorite line was right after that. She was like, "I don't have time for you crusaders." I said, "Oh, not her attacking all of the millennials, all of us. She attacked all of us. I don't have time for. I'm too old to be fucking with y'all crusaders. You're either gonna be in the system and make your money, or you're gonna try to change it and get left the fuck behind, sweetie. Okay, like enough. I don't have time for it." I said, "Oh my god." Not her calling progressives crusaders. I said, "Damn, that was a bar." I really like that whole like little scene for her. I agree. William, did you have something to say? Welcome to the stage.
Yeah, I just on the notion of Yasmin, I think that whole sequence with her and her dad was really well written. There's a lot of that generational stuff that I think the show does really, really well, kind of nestled all in that sequence. But the back and forth that they have there, whether it's the comments about at what age somebody was perceived as being adult or grown, that whole conversation was just, I think, really, there are a lot of barbs back and forth between that and the I think what industry does a really, really good job of is, again, that nuance there. And in a way, like, they're both right? Like, in as messy as that is, and it is extremely messy, they both have points. And it's just that gray area in which so much of the show lives in, I think, was really kind of exemplified in that sequence. But yeah, a lot of good barbs back and forth there.
Yeah, I think that that verbal sparring in industry is always really fucking fun. But like, I like what you're saying, because I think what I liked most about that sequence, William, is when her dad started yelling. I was like, that's realistic. That's appropriate, because when you feel like someone that's beneath you or someone that is dependent on you is like actually kind of spitting, you're just going to start raising your voice. You're going to start exerting your power in other ways, right? So he started yelling in the fucking public area, which is so embarrassing, so disrespectful, so inappropriate, and then started talking about his money when not once. And I want y'all to remember, Yasmin, we've spent a lot of time with Yasmin and her father over the last few episodes, and he rarely brings up the money as some sort of like point of contention. He doesn't think about it. He's not rich. He's not like has good money. He is like, money is not a thought that he ever has. So he never has to wager it in these conversations. But this time in public, when she had some points about him being potentially a fucking pedophile, he was like, how fucking dare you? And then he tried to like level with himself, that like, or level with other people, like, bitch, everybody out here is fucking terrible. Are you kidding? I'm your father. I pay for all of your shit, you delusional little child. That was I was like, Yasmin going out real sad. It's I don't know if you were here in the space earlier, but that's what I was saying. Like, it's tough when the worst people make good points. The worst characters in industry HBO make good points. But go ahead, Nightosphere.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Dallas.
I can't remember who was speaking about like betrayal, but like another, like, because like Jerusalem, you think of betrayal and stuff like that. Because I said before about like Judas and Jesus and Harper and Eric, but you also kind of see that pattern again on a smaller scale, but still on an important scale with like Rob
Right.
and Nicole, actually, because
Absolutely.
Rob at first like lies for Nicole, but then he said, "Yo, Nicole actually did it." And I think that's Rob and Nicole's relationship has actually been so interesting for me, because at first I was just like, oh my gosh, Rob just killed this old lady. Like, I don't know what you want, but like but also like it's hard because that's the only time he got success. It's from that lady literally manipulating him and this weird relationship that they have. But like, literally that last conversation, that's when it really like kicked in for me. Like, we are letting go of Nicole. Like, I fear Nicole and Rob is gonna be a toxic relationship or something. But like, just the way that like Nicole spoke to him, and the way that Rob was speaking about her as well, when he said that you're like a void, you're like an in what was the word? I can't remember. But the way that he spoke about Nicole, like he really knew her, but he kept on comparing her to his mom. I was like, something went on with your mother, because their mother is the reason why you're in business. It was there's the reason why you went to Hollywood. I'm pretty sure he said that. And now you're saying that Nicole, who's very toxic and manipulative and doing all these things, is like your mother. I fear there's a lot of abuse that must have happened with his mother, because we've already seen it with the father, but the mother is dead. We cannot see it with her.
Yeah, we're gonna.
But just
I think it's important to talk about the bars from Nicole, but like, I don't think this is not a toxic relationship, and I think it's important that we use the right language around this. Right, this is not a quote unquote toxic relationship. She is sexually and financially abusing. Okay, she is an abuser. She is an harasser. She is an assaulter. Like, she is a predator through and through in many forms, in many iterations, and she needs to leave these babies alone. And she's doing it to everybody. And it's really fucked up. It's really fucked up. But it was so crazy. Once again, these moments where you're like, damn, the worst person in the world made a good point when he was like, it's so fucking lonely or whatever. And she said, and you've never felt more at home. Like, those are the mommy issues you're talking about exactly right there. Like, he said that in the car, it was like, damn, yeah, like when you come from a lonely ass fucking home life, it's fucked up. You come from an abusive home life. You gotta struggle to like recreate boundaries for yourself to protect yourself. Rob's storyline has actually been surprisingly uh, tragic to me because I didn't think I would be invested in the character. But we talked about in the last space. But Rob has a very tragic. This is a tragedy. Like I need to use
Mm-hmm.
that term in a lot of dramas that we watch on HBO. But if you put yourself in like any of these characters' shoes, this is actually very tragic. The lives of a lot of these kids is like very tragic, and Rob's is probably the most to me, just because that boy. But go ahead, Renee, and then we'll wrap up. Go ahead, Renee. Thank you, Adele.
Yeah. So I realized I lied when I said my favorite character who came back. No, it was Daria. She had the Count of Monte Cristo type of revenge. I had to stand smug season. Honestly, that's not my prayer to God. God, allow me to destroy my ops in that way. In Jesus' name, amen. I will fast, I will tithe. God, guide my steps. Now for dialogue, now the Nicole and like Rob dialogue, like I had to like tweet about it. Like it was terrifying. Like I was just like, oh my God, Rob used the language that like I've said, that everybody has said, predator. Like Nicole is a fucking predator. And when he said it, I was like, yes, Rob, take her down verbally. But then like, to your point when she said, and you never felt more at home, I gasped when he was like, it's the lonely, it scared me. And it was actually really similar to Yasmin in the sense that, Nicole, like in the last episode, she was like, yeah, I'm your mummy. I'm your mummy. And I don't know if they talked like in Pillow Talk, Rob's talked about mommy issues before, or Nicole, because she's a predator, she can sense that this nigga must have mommy issues to be dealing with her. But the way
Right.
that like Yasmin is honest, like just suffered from financial abuse from her father, who once he got called out for being a predator and a pedophile, he said, oh, I'm a predator and a pedophile. Bet you have no money, bitch. That's financial abuse.
Right.
Nicole,
So
she
many bits.
financially, right, she financially abused Rob by being, when she called and she
When
was
she,
just like, oh, half a yard, which I was like, the fuck, like
yeah,
half a billion,
she
and
was
like,
like, oh, this is my downfall. Run me my fucking checks right now.
and she knew Rob was going to do it because also the commission, because like DVD was like, that's a lot of commission though, which I was like, damn. I was like,
DVD
oh,
ain't
so he really not. So that dialogue, it was, I think it was psychically, like on a psychic level, it was traumatizing and very well written. With that being said, my favorite bars still have to go to Celeste and Yasmin, because I applaud the writers for the language that Celeste and Yasmin used to seduce each other for their flirtation in French became the same language that Celeste used when she decided she wanted to cut Yasmin down.
Jerusalem.
And that was poetic. It was
Jerusalem.
dark. Like when she was just like, without your dad, I don't need you. There's tons of girls like you. Your daddy was the only thing that gave you value.
No, the way she said it in French.
Exactement.
Comme toi. For those of you, that's exactly like you. You know how people be like, oh, there's a lot of girls like you. And then she corrected herself. And I don't mean similar. This is not like kind of like you. I mean exactly like you. And it's like, now hold on now. Season 1 or season 2, episode 1, I thought I was special. So, Yasmin thought she was special. Y'all know she did. She thought she was special. And she said, no, sweetie. Mm-mm. The value that you had to me was with your father. Okay.
And then it was like so terrible because like this woman tells her, oh, you have removed your dad from my like sphere of money. You have no value to me because your father is no longer in the picture. That was such foreshadowing, because then Yasmin discovered, wow, I really don't have no value because my daddy locked me out the house and froze my accounts.
And now
So
with Harper with wearing a hoodie for 30 hours. Sweetie, Harper doesn't wear a hoodie for 30 hours. You're down bad. Okay. None of us are on your level, sweetie.
Yeah.
Like, she tried to kiki with Harper. Y'all, that infuriated me. I'm gonna stop bringing it up. First of all, I want to thank you for bringing up Daria. Shout out Daria. Okay, I want to coin my smug season. I told you that's smug season. That's my term. It was smug season. The way that actress just had a couple lines in this season. And I told Renee, I said, she is so smug. And Renee was like, oh my God, you're right. Like, it was such a smug. She said, oh, I heard some peasants were in my office. And so I had to drop by. I said, go
Flex
fuck
up.
off.
Didn't
Go the
Future
fuck
say
off.
flex up? Big bands?
And not only that, you guys, but I need y'all to remember that the writers like know what the fuck happened in obviously, but like everything that happened in season one is still like accounted for in season two. Because remember how Daria kind of abruptly left, and those of us in the audience were kind of like, the fuck? Yeah, she was weak as fuck. When she came in, she said, oh, sweetie, that was maternity leave. I'm an MD now, a managing motherfucking director. When I heard you little rats were scurrying about the building, I had to come by. I said, talk your motherfucking shit. Shout out to showing that women and moms can be powerful. Okay, come on, industry. Love that. Thank you, Renee, for reminding me that. I love that. Great part of the season.
No, like she was giving like the Count of Monte Cristo like vibe.
Exactly.
That's my
And
favorite
it,
book. Mood.
and what was so important was that she was not only so smug, but when you really are that bitch, like you don't even have to spend too much time flexing. Like she literally pretended, like not pretended, but she literally didn't have much time with them. Those scenes were maybe a minute and a half. She spent 90 seconds. She was like, all right, well, I gotta go. Um, oh, Jesse Bloom is y'all's big joker. Oh, we talking over coffee all the time. Okay, anyways, I gotta run. Y'all have fun. Okay, yeah. You little four little, three blind mice and an extra one coming around. You little three musketeers. Okay.
Do you remember when Harper was like, wait, Jesse Bloom was pulled out of the starp and Daria goes, do you work here yet?
I said, come on, industry. That's how, because again, I have to emphasize when Daria left, we was like, oh yeah, Daria down bad. She was like, yeah, maternity leave. I said, okay, bitch. She was like, I was fucking and I was having a child. That's why.
Wait. I thought Daria got pushed out because of Harper and Eric and the whole sexuals and her getting locked out.
She did. She
She
did.
did
So that's what made it so great.
That's what made it so great.
Oh, okay. I thought we were saying that. I thought you were talking about how she got pushed out, like she left voluntarily. I said, hold on
No,
now.
no,
I
no,
don't remember
leave
that.
voluntarily, but the way that she put it on the table, like actually, it overlapped with me needing maternity leave, and the fact that Harper and fucking Eric didn't fucking care about me. Look where y'all are now, begging for a bank where I'm the fucking managing director. That was
Speaking of the Indian lady, she wasn't seen at all
the what?
this season. The actual boss, we all we saw was Adler, but she
Yep,
was also a boss in the London office too. So they might have kicked her to the curb.
she needed her redemption arc too.
She do.
But thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you for talking about season two with What We Watch. Please tap at the top and follow What We Watch Film TV. I got a lot of new stuff coming for you guys. Those of you listening after this, thank you so much. Please get your people to watch Industry HBO season 1 and 2, because I'm going to tell you right now, I need a season 3. I will not be happy if I don't get a season 3. I need that. We need that. And we'll be back with What We Watch. Please hashtag anything that you enjoyed about this space. If you didn't like anything, please direct it to Renee. That's her issues, not mine. Thank you guys. Have a good evening. Happy What We Watch Wednesday. Bye bye.